I'm Kurt Fearnley, Paralympian, and I'm coming to you from a Wabakal country.
And I'm Paralympian Sarah Rose, and I'm coming to you from Guringai country.
This is You Little Ripper, the place that we celebrate all things parasport. It's Sarah Rose. Outside of parasport, I hear a little whisper on the grapevine that there may be a podcast in your future. Another podcast.
I know. I was so inspired by this podcast, all your podcasts, meeting such incredible people. I thought it was the perfect time to start another little side gig. So it's very exciting.
What's it called?
It's called A Very Rosy Podcast.
I was just wondering because you're a pretty busy person, there's a lot happening. How important is it to have these side products, these passion projects in your life?
To me, it's everything. It really is everything. It's what keeps me going. It's what I love, that creative energy that you get to kind of work on something really fun and own it, like as your own. So I absolutely love it. And I've been loving doing little fun things like the artwork, trying to lock guests in, 100% want you. But yeah, no, it's really great. And I've got to mention, you came to my work and gave it a phenomenal talk during the week. So thank you. They already hit me up and they want you back again.
You know what was really great? It was really great to be introduced to an audience by a Paralympian and then just have that real world relationship with the person that's kind of, it's like, hey, g'day friend, meet the rest of my friends over here. So it just made the ability to have a yarn with the group so much nicer. And did everyone actually know that you're a Paralympian?
I'm not too sure. It's like 25,000 people at work, so absolutely not. But there were so many people there, and so many people have been watching the recording, so they'll know now.
Well, Sarah, we should get on to the day. I'm going to throw it over to you. There's always lots of things happening in the parasporting world, but what's your You Little Ripper moment?
My You Little Ripper moment is the parasurfing, which has been phenomenal. And a big congrats to Jocelyn, Sam Bloom and Kai. They all three of them won their divisions at the Access Surf Hawaii Adaptive Surfing Championships. M. Dieters and Mark Stewart both finished up runner-up in their divisions. And the next stop for them is the Association of Adaptive Surfing Professionals Tour in Costa Rica from the 20 to 23rd of June. So it's all happening and they're phenomenal surfing from those guys.
Have you ever surfed?
Yeah, I have.
What did you think?
I loved it. It's like quite easy. No, I don't mean it's easy because it's not easy at all. But because I'm short-statured and being like low center of gravity, I found it like getting up. Couldn't do any tricks or anything, but like getting up, I was at such an advantage for once. So I was like, yeah. That was great.
I got really intense into surfing in the lead up to London in 2012, and I would I would lie down, but then I'd get on my knees and it'd be like a dog riding a surfboard. And there was one moment where a wave crashed on the beach, and again, it's probably 6 months out from the Paralympics, and it just forked into the sand, and I'm about to land and hit the sand, and I'm like, I'm going to break my arm. I'm going to have to go home and go, well, London's off, Paralympics are gone, and I haven't went surfing once since then. Like, it was one of those real, what are you doing, Kurt? You found this thing that you're good at. Just kind of stay in that lane for a little bit. But I did for a period of time until I got the fear in me. It was so much fun. I'm going to jump into my You Little Ripper moment. It is a little close to home. Reed McCracken, the great Reed McCracken, wheelchair racer extraordinaire. He was a little kid when I got to meet him and helped him in that intro phase of wheelchair sports. He is now in his mid-20s. He's still competing. He's going for another Paralympic Games. He's fourth in Paris, but he's still getting PBs, a second in the 800 metres on the weekend at the Swiss Nationals. And the great Jake Lappin, he broke the 800-metre Australian record. He did 1 hour and 1 minute and 31 seconds. I only ever got to 1 minute 32. Chunking another second off that record is outstanding. And I have to talk about the person who was a pretty much the person of my nightmares for at least 2 years of my life. The great Marcel Hug, the greatest wheelchair racer that the world has ever seen. Marcel Hug, an 800 meters in a wheelchair. He did 1 minute and 27 seconds. That is terrifying. I just can't imagine. Trying to get my head around how quick that is. It's a real struggle. Also, some honourable mentions for our para sports community. We've got the Aussie Rollers and Gliders. Their wheelchair basketball teams have been finalised, and they'll be competing at the International Wheelchair Basketball Federation's World Championships in June 10.
And also the para cycling Third World Cup in Alabama. We saw some great results over there for the Aussies. We got Julie Hooper, who finished up 9th, Maddie McNeil, who also finished up 9th, Carol Cook placing 4th in her category, the WT2 in the road race, which is brilliant.
The reason that we're all here, of course, is to have a yarn to our great athletes out there. We've covered this at the top of the show. Our surfing credibility is not great, but here at You Little Ripper, we're about to lift that a mile. We have one of the greats from Australia surfing. It is an iconic part of the Australian culture. So, of course, there is a disability lens across that, and we get to talk to the great Emma Dieters. Emma, welcome to You Little Ripper.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
There's a lot of parasports out there. What drew you to surfing?
I've always surfed since I was young. It's always been in my life. So, just to get back out into the ocean post acquirement of the spinal cord injury, it's definitely given me a lot of, kind of connecting me with my older life, I guess.
Amazing. And world champion, did you ever imagine that you would have that accolade?
Well, no, I did not. It's definitely, my life took a massive turn after meeting Sam Bloom. She's a 2-time world surfer, and I had a chance encounter with her sister. She was one of my nurses. So I got put in touch with her, and like the rest is history, and it just was fast tracked. Yeah, so it's been a whirlwind.
What does dry land training look like for surfers? If you're not in the water, what's your dry land training like?
Yeah, so I do have kind of 2 types of training. I'll train with my neurophysio, which is trying to retrain the body how to function and move normally again. And then I found a great guy, Scotty Atherton, who's down at the Surfers Gym at Cromer. They are helping me with more specific movements and strengthening for surfing, basically.
Oh, amazing.
I have this sneaky suspicion that the surfing schedule of competition is in some pretty handy locations. What's the competition schedule look like?
Yeah, so for that particular tour or championship, there's Hawaii and there's Costa Rica. That's in June. That was a consideration, but I think just kind of been thrown into all of this. So monetary-wise, I'm not really prepared. But, I'm going to get to Oceanside in September, which is another one of the Adaptive Pro events, and someone will be crowned champion of that tour as well. So, it's exciting. And there are other ones around. I just heard about one in Japan at a wave pool. So that's on my to-do list as well now.
Wow, there's a lot going on. And here at You Little Ripper, we like to get our guests insight into what balance looks like, particularly when you just did a huge number of competitions and different things that training, dry lands, the Surfers Gym, and different things that you're doing. What does balance look like to you? And how do you balance your competitive surfing with work-life balance, eh?
That is, I think everyone struggles with that at the moment. I really, really am struggling with it. I've got 2 kids as well. So, they are a little bit older. They're teens now, so they're kind of somewhat independent, but, I want to spend as much time with them as well. But I don't have balance, to be honest. I'm trying to start up Northern Beaches Para Surfer Board Riders Club. So that will help people in the Northern Beaches and surrounding areas to have a a local and community kind of training ground and a bit more of a pathway to go through to international events. So, my first one was at the Australian Championships, and my second comp was the World Championships. So, there was no kind of start to that journey. So I'm just going to try and help people out in that way. Balance is like non-existent.
How important is it to have the access to those mainstream services, like the local competition that gives the non-disabled surfer a chance to kind of work out their warm-up, work out how they go under the pressure of timing, but also allows for the individual with the disability to be able to play and compete where they are?
Yes, so we are integrated with able-bodied and disabled at the same time. So Monoval Board Riders has been really helpful in helping us to gather momentum. And yeah, you're right. It's an important part of the training because you want to get into certain routines and understand what you need to do at certain times. It's actually quite a strategic sport. So there's a lot to learn. So you need to have that pathway, and I'm really hoping that I can create that for those people. Get more bronze in. Like when I went to the championships last year, I think the average age would have been about 40 for the team. So that tells you that there isn't heaps of depth to the sport yet, and that's what I would really like to.
The average age is 40, so they're incredibly young and full of life then?
Yeah. Like, isn't 40 is the new 20? But, there was a couple of younger kids. Surfing, the sport of surfing, it's all very much a younger person sport. So, yeah, there's a way to go, I think.
Would you love to see parasurfing as a sport for including the 28 Paralympic Games?
Oh, that would be amazing. And yeah, that's I think gives everyone another level of drive and inspiration. And yeah, I think it's definitely time. It's an iconic sport, like an Australian iconic sport, and it's a world iconic sport. Like, it just needs to be there, and it needs to be for the parasurfers as well. So, even if I'm not there, I'm trying to get people into the sport that are younger, and they might get into the team ahead of me. But that's, I just would be stoked with that as well.
And how incredible would that be then for the 2032 Games hosted in Brisbane, home country, having surfing included? I just think would be amazing.
I think everyone would be, as they say, frothing on that.
I'm still trying to Google what a grommet is.
It's a young stoked surfer. So yeah, there's plenty of them down at Monoval Beach, and they've all been really, really cool and encouraging for us, and really warm and welcoming. And I got to say, there was a kid that paddled up to me after I'd taken a late takeoff and made it. He paddled up to me. He's about 12, and he said, "That was so cool," and he was so impressed. And it's just nice to bring the two kind of somewhat separated worlds together.
Well, congratulations about your journey so far. A world champion, hard fought.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see where to next. Good luck with the next competition, and thanks for joining us on You Little Ripper.
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you. Thanks for the chat.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
That's another episode of You Little Ripper. A reminder, Ignition Athletics, come and try a day on July 23 on the Gold Coast. Just head to the Paralympics Australia website for more information. Get involved in sport. It's the greatest. And thank you for listening to our podcast. We love parasport, and we want to share how amazing it is with the rest of the world, but we need your help to do that.
We need you all to tell your mates about how much a fantastic potty this is. Leave us a review, and a really nice review, guys.
5 stars!
Yeah. And we'll be back with more interviews with your favourite athletes. So make sure you're following You Little Ripper wherever you get your podcasts.
You Little Ripper!